Hello, everyone. The way we interact with hobbies in the modern digital age is quite interesting. It's something that I've thought about a lot, and I've seen people covering it on the internet. There's been a lot of people that have been covering things like overconsumption and performatism within the online communities that around certain hobbies. In fact, this is literally something that affects literally all hobbies. There isn't a single hobby where there isn't some sort of overconsumption or performatism going on within the online community by some individuals. Another thing as well that's come about with the digital age is everything is at the tip of our fingers. I'm talking about with media, especially like video games, movies, series, even books and music. And it's very convenient at first, don't get me wrong, but I do find that the subscription service model that gives you unlimited choice and access to everything does really have an impact on your connection with media. And I've noticed this especially with like music, not so much video games, because I've kind of just remained a physical media person when it comes to gaming. I never got a subscription model service. I just don't really partake in any of that. But when it comes to music, I have been using subscription services for quite a few years now. I was admittedly late in the jump from the iPod to streaming services, but something I would really like to do this year, or maybe next year, it depends, is get an iPod or something again and disconnect music from the box that has everything in it, which is the smartphone. Because yes, for me, music is the hobby that has been the most impacted. Because at first it was really cool to have all of this music at the tip of my fingers on. I used to use Spotify. I moved to YouTube Music. And the thing is if you have so much content at the tip of your fingers, then you kind of end up treating music, for me at least, as much more disposable content than I used to when I had to, even just back when I had an iPod or an MP3 player, and I would have to download all my music and specifically put it onto my MP3 player. I had a much more intentional relationship with my music, because I would have to go out of my way to either buy it on iTunes or find somewhere else to download it from and put it on my MP3 player. Side note, but something I was very fortunate because my dad he still has it. He has this huge, massive hard drive full of music. There's so much music on there. And when I got my very first MP3 player, which was a little thing, it was literally like a USB stick that you put into a laptop or computer or whatever. And you just easily copy files over like that, like it's literally a USB stick. And when I got that MP3 player, he literally set me down in front of his computer with that huge hard disk full of music and said, "Here, have a look through this hard disk of music and copy whatever music over you want from this." So I remember that, and that was really cool. I sat there, I think, all evening listening through all of this music and finding tracks that I'd never heard before that I really liked and copying it over onto my little MP3 player. And that was really fun. I remember that. Bit of a side tangent, but whatever. But you see, that's the thing, is I don't have like cool, vivid memories of using Spotify or now YouTube Music. It's like, because there's no intentionality behind it. And another thing that's sad is subscription models do, I think, really morph or change how we perceive the medium, not just in the sense that we probably see it as more disposable content subconsciously, but also, and again, the best example I can think of here is music, because with the subscription model, albums at this point are kind of redundant. Subscription service models for music are very much based on the individual track, and obviously, if you know anything about music subscription services, you know that they really like you to have like short songs that are under 3 minutes now, because that really optimizes the amount of plays you can have per song. You know, if they're shorter, you can repeat it more. So songs are getting shorter in response as a result of just how the subscription model works. And also, albums are becoming redundant because people just listen to individual songs that become hits on social media, for example, and they're not really interested in listening to albums, which is really sad, because albums in themselves are an entirely separate art form. They're literally a curated playlist of songs that the artist has put together in a specific order for a specific reason. I know there's definitely albums that come out now where, yes, it's a curated playlist of songs, but they're not really like tied together like particularly well. But there's definitely albums still released today, but especially in the past, where if you listen to the album, it flows so well, and there's songs that are interconnected, and like there's I really like the albums where the song doesn't just stop and then it jumps over to another song. It's like the songs are interwoven and the song transitions into the next track. You know those albums I'm talking about? Those types of albums are just really cool. And I fear that this might be a dying art because of music subscription services, which is really sad. Like, albums are really cool, which is why I have been making a point of trying to listen to full albums more, and also why I want to transition back over to having an iPod rather than a subscription service for music. Because, yes, it's convenient, whatever. And an iPod, you can also just put individual tracks on there and have playlists that you shuffle, and you don't have to have full albums on there. But it's definitely a step in the right direction, in my opinion. And also, I have CDs. I don't have a CD player at the moment. I used to have one, but it broke and I haven't replaced it yet. So I need to get another CD player at some point so that, you know, I can put the CD in, listen to the album. And something that would be kind of cool to do again is I remember when I used to buy blank CDs, and I used to take some of my favorite songs and burn them onto a CD, and that would be like my mixtape, you know? And I'd just play that CD on my CD player. I kind of miss that approach as well. I'd quite like to do that. I think it would be quite fun. And I mean, this applies to all hobbies, but I think music is one that's been especially affected by the online subscription model, you know? And I know that movies and TV series have definitely been impacted in not a necessarily particularly good way because of subscription services like Netflix. Because I know that Netflix, there's been all this, I've seen plenty of videos about how Netflix has essentially influenced how shows are made in a negative way. Like, they're kind of created with the intention of the assumption that you're not going to watch the whole thing anyway. You're going to be on your phone half the time. And so it's treated more like second monitor content by Netflix, specifically the shows that Netflix makes. But this is spread across the industry as well. And it directly has an impact on the quality of the content itself and its structure and how it's made, and even how it's viewed. And it's just, I don't know. I just don't think it's heading in a good direction. I feel like we're very much heading in a direction where we're treating art, music, video games, films, TV shows, art as disposable content. And we're not really interacting with it in a way where we're really thinking about what it is we just watched, or what we just read, or really sitting there quietly listening to this album or whatever, because I've always been the type of person that treats music very much as like an experience. I'm listening to music right now. It's not background noise. It's like a whole experience, if that makes sense. But I know that not everyone's like that, and not everyone has to be like that. But for me, that's been my approach of music. And so I want to try and like reclaim my relationship more with media of all types, of all kinds. You know, I want to make sure that I leave my phone alone while I'm watching something. I want to get a CD player or something so that I can listen to full albums without getting distracted or skipping a song or anything like that, and like sitting down and really take it all in properly without distractions and things like that. Because the problem with distractions is if you get distracted, you're not really taking in what you're consuming, you know, what you're listening to or what you're watching properly. You will miss some stuff, some details. And I mean, you don't have to be 100% focused on all of the media you consume all the time. I mean, that's kind of impossible anyway, because there's more than just your phone to distract you. There's other stuff. There's life that gets in the way. I don't know. I think it's because I've always been a big media head. And to me, media, it has never been something disposable. It's always been a form of expression. It's always been someone's feelings and emotions, their worldview, or a message that they want to pass on, express, you know, very much, like I said, a form of expression. And to me, that has a lot of value. Like, I know that art hasn't always been considered throughout history as something particularly important. And I mean, there are things that are much more essential, like food, all of that, you know, a roof over your head. But to me, art is something that is very important because it's such a human thing. It's born from human emotions, experiences, and a need for expression and connection that only humans experience. So it's really important. It's like a vision, or almost a doorway into someone else's mind to a certain extent. And the same thing with video games. Video games are like that as well. It's not just music and cinema, you know. And also paintings are the same. I've never been like particularly into paintings, but paintings are the same thing, you know. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to share in this video. I'll probably make more videos about like hobbies and stuff from like different angles. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.